Judaism is classified as one of the world religions. However, within Judaism, there are many branches or groups that share fundamental beliefs, but they vary in certain aspects. In this episode, I'll be exploring with you 10 branches of Judaism that you may not have even known about. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and now I've always found Judaism and Jewish culture just very fascinating. I really love learning new stuff about the culture and the whole religion and everything. I just always want to know stuff, you know? So don't go anywhere, guys. I got tons of info coming up right now. So the branch we're going to start off with at number 10 is Reform Judaism. The largest affiliation of American Jews, about 35% of Jews identify as Reform Jews. This branch focuses a lot of its attention on the importance of the Jewish ethical traditions above the obligations of Jewish law. Reform Judaism has typically aimed to adapt Jewish tradition to modern understandings, and it really prides itself on being progressive in its political sense, as well as it also prioritizes social justice work. This branch emphasizes personal choice when it comes to the ritual observance of Judaism. From there, we move on to number 9, Conservative Judaism. This branch is also known as Masorti, or Traditional Judaism, outside of North America. Conservative Judaism considers Jewish law to be obligatory. But one thing I really got to point out is that abiding by Jewish law in practice really allows for a huge range of observations among conservative Jews. Conservative Jews have historically been pretty much the midway point between Reform Judaism and Orthodox Judaism, which we'll be looking at next, by the way. So within Conservative Judaism, you'll see that they have adopted certain practices like driving to the synagogue but nowhere else on Shabbat, which is the Sabbath day or Saturday, rather than having their adherents walk like other Jewish sects. You'll also see more equality among the genders in prayer in most conservative synagogues, at least, but they will still maintain certain traditional practices like keeping kosher, as well as holding traditional beliefs about intermarriage. For the most part, Conservative Judaism continues to restrict its rabbis from officiating at interfaith weddings, but the branch has become a bit more liberal in its approach to intermarriage more recently. It's estimated that about 10% of American Jews identify as conservative. The branch number 8 is Orthodox Judaism. Orthodox Jews are distinct due to their adherence to traditional understanding of Jewish law as interpreted by Jewish authorities over the centuries. Some of the staple practices of Orthodox Jews include strict observance to Shabbat, so there is no driving, no working, no turning on electricity. You're not even going to see them turn off electricity. There's also no handling of money in any way on Shabbat. Also, they keep the kosher laws. Now, in number, they are actually the smallest of the 3 main branches of Judaism. 10% of American Jews identify as Orthodox, and Orthodox Jews have larger than average families, and their children are statistically more likely to remain practicing Jews. Just like Judaism in general, Orthodox Judaism can be further subdivided into different smaller branches. Modern Orthodox is up next. Also known as centrist orthodoxy, this branch was started primarily to harmonize traditional observance of Jewish law with the secular modern world. What modern Orthodox Judaism stands for is summed up in the motto of its primary institution, which is the New York Yeshiva University. And that motto is Torah Umada, literally meaning Torah and secular knowledge. The next branch of Orthodox Judaism is HAREDI, or ultra-Orthodox. Here we go, guys. Now, typically, they're known for their distinctive black hats, for men at least, and also their very modest style of dress for women. Yeah, this is like the typical image that people, I think, have when you mention Jewish, or Jews, or Judaism, whatever combination of those words. Haredi Orthodox Jews are the most strict in their commitment to Jewish law and statistically have the lowest amount of interaction with the broader non-Jewish world. One major exception though is the Hasidic Judaism Chabad Lubavitch branch, which is known for its outreach work. Haredi Orthodox Jews can be further subdivided into the next two main branches actually, and I just mentioned them. We have the Hasidic Jews up next at number 5. Hasidic Jews are the offspring of the spiritual revivalist movement that began in Eastern Europe in the 18th century. Followers of Hasidic Judaism, known as Hasidim or pious ones, they drew heavily on the Jewish mystical tradition in seeking a direct experience of God through ecstatic prayer. Among the most unique features of Hasidic Judaism is having the Rebbe as the central figure, which is the spiritual leader, and every Hasidic Jewish group has one of these. And when the Rebbe dies, then the successor is usually a son or some other close relative. From there we look at the branch at number 4, YESHIVISH. Sometimes known as Litvish, these Haredi Jews are heirs of the Mitnagdim, literally meaning opponents, who rejected the rise of Hasidic Judaism in Europe. These Jews traditionally put a lot of emphasis on the intellectual aspect of Judaism, so the men especially studied the Talmud very intensely. Yeshivish derives from the word yeshiva, or religious seminary. And from there we move on to the Reconstructionist Judaism. Following the thinking of its founder Mordecai Kaplan, Reconstructionism holds that Judaism is the evolving civilization of the Jewish people. So its followers hold various different opinions about the extent to which Jewish law is to be followed, and this branch is very religiously progressive, so to speak. Mordecai Kaplan was the first American rabbi to preside over a public bar mitzvah celebration for his daughter Judith in the year 1922. And the movement's rabbinical seminary was the first to accept openly gay students. Now that is a huge step for Judaism. Okay, that was surprising. Now moving on to number 2, Jewish renewal kind of mixes the ecstatic prayer of the Hasidic Jews that I mentioned earlier with the modern belief about gender equality. And there's a lot of attention on the environment as well, and also appreciation of religious diversity and differences. Its spiritual father was the rabbi named Zalman Schachter Shalomi, and this rabbi was born into a Hasidic Jewish family in Europe. But he wasn't really as strict, and he had a lot of counterculture values. And we end this episode off with humanistic Judaism. First time I've heard of this one when I was researching for this video. This branch was founded in the year 1963 by Rabbi Sherwin Wine, and this branch is actually non-theistic, and that's its approach to Judaism. It's not based on divine revelation at all. Humanistic Jews celebrate Jewish culture, history, as well as holidays without any sort of reference to God, and they have a lot of emphasis on rationalist, human-centered ethics. Okay, that was also a big shock, because literally the central part of Judaism is that it's from God, they're God's chosen people and whatnot. So the fact that there's a branch that is non-theistic, yeah, very, very surprising. So guys, that wraps up this episode. This was a look at 10 branches of Judaism. So I explained them. Now I want to know your thoughts and comments down below. Were there any of them that you never heard of before, or did you know of these branches before? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you did like this video, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till next time, stay awesome, stay educated. See you soon.